are going to spend just a few minutes. We'll go through what the SDGs are. We will look at a short history, how it came into being, and then we'll relate it to what we are doing here with regards to sustainable development goals. So, what are sustainable development goals? What are sustainable development goals? It is also known as the global goals. Another name for the SDG is global goals. Why is it global? Because it involves all countries that are part of the United Nations. So it is global. Everybody is involved. Everybody is inclusive. It was adopted by the UN in 2015. It was adopted by the UN in 2015. It's a universal call to action, and the main focus is to end poverty and protect the planet. So all the goals have the aim of ending poverty and then protecting the planet. Are we here? Yes. So the idea is that we should ensure that by the end of 2030, all people, including you and myself, all other countries, to enjoy peace, prosperity, to action to end poverty. So the SDGs' main aim is that by 2030, all people, whether you are in the United States, whether you are in Ukraine, whether you are in Benin, whether you are in Ghana, wherever you find yourself and you are part of the UN, by 2030, this is what they want to achieve. And the Sustainable Development Goal is also comprehensive. We will come to why it is comprehensive. We'll know why it is comprehensive. It's a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity. Let's not forget these three keywords: people, planet, and prosperity. These are the three main or keywords that will come back to when we are talking about the history and talking about how it is structured. So it was a political decision because leaders met and they took a decision. So it's a political declaration, and it has 17 goals. 17 goals. The SDGs are 1 to 17. It has 169 targets, what they want to achieve. And then it has over 230 indicators that they use in measuring progress. So every year when they meet, they analyze and see whether the world is making progress, whether countries are able to achieve these goals. It came into effect in January 1, 2016. So it was what? They met in 2015, it was adopted, and it came into effect in January 2016. So these are this is a summary of what the SDGs are. So we said what? It's known as the global goal, adopted by the UN in 2015, universal call for action to end poverty. It is a comprehensive framework, and the focus is on people, planet, and prosperity. 17 goals, 169 targets, and over 230 indicators that are used to measure its progress. So let's look at the history, how it came into being. So the agenda has two predecessors. So initially the world had an agenda, that was the Agenda 2021. Alright, so this agenda was adopted in 1992 during the Rio Earth Summit when the leaders met. The focus was on the environment. Agenda 21 was on the environment, and it was only looking at some developing countries. Then the second predecessor is the 2015 Millennium Development Goals. We call it the SDGs. So in 2015, there was another gathering, or the then UN Secretary General Kofi Annan forwarded this agenda that by 2015, all the countries would attain these 8 goals. And the focus was on human development. The focus was on human development. The SDGs were 8, and they were targeted at developing countries. The target was only developing countries. It included reducing poverty, child mortality. It also included achieving universal primary education, also promoting gender equality, improving child and maternity health, and combating diseases. So they were 8 in number. And these were the focus. The focus was mainly on human development. And the countries that they were looking at were developing countries. So at another summit in Rio in 2012, the world leaders that met decided that they have to put these 2 predecessors together to get a comprehensive framework, and thereby they developed the Sustainable Development Goals. So it is relevant for any country on the planet. Let's take note of this. Relevant for any country on the planet, regardless of your developmental goals and your status. So the other ones, we said the focus was on developing countries, but this one is targeted at all countries that are part of the UN. So they met at this summit and they developed these 17 Sustainable Development Goals. So here they are: no poverty, no hunger, all the way to 17. We have that there. Now we can turn over our sheets. So we just want to go over what we have. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Use the symbols. And then when I mention your name, you read what you see on your sheet. Okay. Ahmed, read goal number 1 for us.
End poverty in all its forms everywhere.
End poverty in all its forms everywhere. I'm not going to go deep into this, but that is not the focus. Augustina, read goal number 2.
End hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture.
So by 2030, this is what they are hoping to achieve: to end poverty, to end hunger. Read number 3 for us.
Ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages.
Thank you. Victor, the next one, read it for us. 4. This is the test. If you can't find yours,
Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all.
please read it again.
Ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all.
Thank you. So this, we are major stakeholders when it comes to SDG number 4. True or false?
True.
It's true. All right. Francis, read the next one. 5.
Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls.
Achieve what?
Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls.
Isaac, the next one.
Ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all.
George.
Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all.
Number 8.
Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic development, full and productive environments, and decent life for all.
Tony. 9.
Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation.
Who is left? Read the last one.
The last
Number
one.
17.
17. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development.
Thank you very much. So the sheet I gave you, it's not in order. So I was hoping you could use the single squelette, and all of you have been able to do that. You have done well. So these are the 17 goals. We have jumped some. These are the goals. This is what the UN is expecting that by the year 2030, all nations, myself, yourself, and all other people in other countries will achieve this. Make sure that there will be no poverty. Make sure that there will be inclusive and what? Equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Make sure there is no discrimination. There is equality for all. People are not taken advantage of. Make sure that what? The environment is free for all, is safe for all. Good. So we talked about the 3 pillars earlier when I said that the plan of activities is mainly for what? For people, for the planet, and for prosperity. So the SDG relates to these 3 main pillars. 1, it focuses on what? The people. Who are the people? The people are within the society. And secondly, it focuses on the planet. The planet is mainly the environment, the earth, the environment. And then the third one is what? Prosperity. We talked about what? Economy. So they are interconnected. So the SDGs are divided into these 3 pillars, and each pillar has a group of SDGs. So when we come to prosperity, we have SDG number 8. What does SDG number 8 say? Loudly.
Promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all.
And what does 9 say?
Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation.
SDG 12.
Ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns.
Alright. So these are just examples of pillar number 1, that is under prosperity and economy. So some people say that the SDG is like a cake. Someone was explaining these 3 pillars and he said it looks like a cake. Design cake. So when you bring the 3 together, it looks like it's a form of cake. So they are interlinked, they are interconnected. So whilst you are taking care of the environment, making sure things are happening, the society benefits, and then what? We have a prosperous economy. So these 3 link together, that at the end of 2030, we make sure this is achieved. So in summary, what is the SDG about? Basically, we said what? It was adopted in 2015 by all the 193 UN member states. It was preceded by Agenda 21 and the MDGs. It has 17 goals, 169 targets, and 330 plus indicators. And it has 4 fundamental principles. That is, it is integrated, it is universal, inclusive, and leaves no one behind. Everyone is involved. And it is reviewed every year. Every year when they meet, they review and see whether they have to add some indicators and see where the world is going. So now we have about how many years to 2030? How many years?
7 years.
So is the world getting closer? Or we are far away?
Far away. Ghana is in the 2nd century.
Alright. So Let's see what will happen, whether there will be any amendments and new targets. All right. So now we are now coming to why we are talking about the SDGs. Why are we talking about SDGs today? Why is it that today when you came, you said we are talking about SDGs? Why should you know 17 goals? Is it necessary for you? So this sheet is for you. When you go, you can look at them and then you can have an idea of what the SDGs are. So NNF Esquire Limited. One day director thought, right, oh, SDGs. What can we do in our line of business so that we also help to meet the SDGs? So NNF together with Studio Mansa sat down and we had the idea to develop supplementary readers to cover all the 17 goals. So we are developing about 17 supplementary readers to make sure we tackle each of the SDG goals. And the focus is for students, learners, young children. We are targeting from preschool, maybe around primary, maybe JHS, so that they should also know what the SDGs are. Because it looks like a language for the what? The elderly, but it looks like the language for maybe a particular class of people. I want to bring it down to the level of learners. That is why we are bringing this together. So with just about 7 years to the end of the global SDGs, NNF Esquire Limited is positioned to create awareness. Okay, so the main aim is to create awareness using engaging characters, using books, using reading or activity books. Okay, so the characters in the stories, they ask a lot of questions, they are daring and they are solutionists. These are kind of children we need to raise for the future we envisage. So whilst they engage in these books, they develop entrepreneurial ideas. They also have an idea of how to take care of the environment, how to relate with each other. And then they also get ideas to also earn profit. So this is basically the reason why we started this project. Each activity will revolve around either thinking or what? Creating or writing. Each activity will involve around either thinking critically, creating or writing. And we see that these things are what related to the core competencies we have been talking about. So these books are also going to make sure we handle or help the children develop their core competencies. While they read, they think. There are activities, book coloring, writing activities. After reading, there are some activities at the end of the books to engage them. Right. So we have started the project. They are about 17 in number. I'm just going to mention the titles. So we have book 1, it's Let's Create in Color. It is a coloring book. Let's Create in Color. A coloring book that has about 32 pages. And each of the SDGs have been taken care of. So you have a drawing in relation to no hunger. You have a drawing in relation to education and all the 17 goals. The second book is Going Green with Grandma Grace. The third one is Where is Zuzu's Cake? The fourth one is Dee Returns to School. The fifth one is Ajuba for President. And the sixth one is The Moonlight Boy. We have all this up to the 17th one, which is The Forest is a Wave of Songs. There are 3 peculiar ones that I'm going to talk about personalities in our country. And they are going to focus on Elijah. Ado is going to focus on Regina Ajari and then Esther Oku. Who knows Esther Oku? Who knows Esther Oku? The one who was. Have you heard about Esther Oku? Oh, is that so? Alright. Assignment. So when we finish, Google and search who Esther Okuru is. So Regina Ajari is an entrepreneur. She is into women empowerment. Okay. And then we have Elijah Adu. He's also an entrepreneur who is doing some wonderful things. He's a chef. So we are going to talk about them, how they are doing things to also help develop this SDGs. So the book is going to focus on that one. So, all right. So in view of what I've mentioned, we have one title that is Book 7, and the title is Project Pinkaso. We made a submission in November last year. So by the grace of God, we were rewarded. That submission was successful. So the 17 books, this was the first one we submitted or we released. And we have an award. It was nominated and also selected, and we submitted it for African Global Achievement. And this book is now available, or we are supposed to make it available for anybody in Africa to get access to read, because it has been captured on the African development sites where they have English reading books and this. So these books have been captured. So Project Pinkaso is on friendship and perseverance. I believe we have the flyers and what it is about and why Project Pinkaso is unique. You don't have the flyers, you get it. So this was the first book that was released among the 17, Project Pinkaso. And this is on SDG number what? Number 7. But it also has a relation to another SDG. So when you read the book, you'll be able to know. From here, I'm giving an assignment. We are going to read Project Pinkaso. And then we'll tell us which of the SDGs Project Pinkaso talks about. So now we have 2 assignments. We are going to find out who Esther Okuru is. And we are going to read Project Pinkaso. And then Esther Okuru. In relation to what we have just read from the SDGs, we'll find the number of goals Project Pinkaso is talking about. So please, you put it down for now. So this is the first out of the 17. Very soon, some more will come out, and then the others will follow. So you have to know what the SDGs are, so that when you are engaging the schools or you are engaging the school leaders, you can give them the needed information. Why we are doing these projects, and why the children need those books, and why even parents have to buy it for their kids. So I bring my presentation to an end. Thank
you. Is it the only book selected among all publishers in Ghana?
In Ghana, yes. But I don't know how many publishers submitted books. But the submission for Africa, Ghana, it was only Project Pinkaso from NNN that was selected.
In Africa.
Wow.
What happened was 5 were selected. 2 of them came from Kenya. 1 came from Nigeria. And then 1 came from South Africa. And then 1 from Ghana. So the one from Ghana was selected.
So we heard about the submission in was it October? then we started the project and we were able to submit in November.
So we submitted only one, and that was the one that won.
Any other question?
Mine has to do with the name, the Pinkaso. Yes. What informed the name Pinkaso?
Read the book.
Oh wow.
Is the picture of the Pinkaso not familiar?
But the sugar didn't come.
So you know what Pinkaso is?
Yes.
What is Pinkaso?
That's a whole series like master. Local donors.
You can only taste it, but you can't describe how it's
So it's the same Pinkaso you know.
Listen, we know the goals are 17, so does it mean that each title captures each goal, or we can have 2 goals maybe in one
You
title?
can have more than one goal in one. The idea is that we make sure that we capture all the 17. So there's an assignment that you should read this book and find out which of the goals this project Pinkaso captures.
No,
We
yeah.
have for you.
Oh wow. Thank you so much.
We can ask to go and sell it if we don't really want to absorb.
The cost, how much is one?
20.
No discount.
So it is going to be put on the next price list that we produce. So Elvis will decide which grade. What grade is this suitable for?
All basic.
From primary.
All primary, all reading class.
How would you class? So how are you going to position it in the price list? On the book list.
Yes.
You put it in all the grades.
Yeah, we all agree.
Alright. I'm asking because when you go out, they'll ask you. They will definitely ask you, so which class am I buying it for? So you have to tell them that well, it's suitable for all grades. However, depending on the reading ability of the children in that school.
Even the KG child who can read it.
Yes. So if we narrow it to one grade, we'll be eliminating some. So we have to leave it to the Bible. Unfortunately, some of the schools, you don't want to put anywhere. You want people to tell them that buy it for class 2. But you have they have to do their homework and then decide where to. So this is going to be a major promotion activity that you are going to be conducting alongside your other promotion.